To have you here, guys. Today we're actually going to be talking about supplements and why you actually need supplements and how to get the most out of your supplement use. To give you a little background, I am a chiropractor. I practice in Orlando, Florida, and I've been practicing for 5 years. I do a lot of work with people with musculoskeletal injuries and conditions. Additionally, I work on helping people with their nutritional questions because that's a big part of making sure that the body heals and stays healthy. So we're going to talk a little bit. I've got a presentation here, and let me see if I can share my screen. Says I can in 3 seconds. That says, okay, I'm going to pull up my screen here. And all right, so a lot of people want to know why supplements are important. What's the big deal? What I hope to answer in this little online video is a couple of things. Why do we need supplements? Shouldn't we be able to get enough nutrition out of our food without supplements? And how can you make sure you're taking a good supplement? Now, I bring these up because there are a lot of people who have different feelings about supplements. And here, I'm going to change the video here. How you should use supplements, and even if you need to use supplements. And then there are people that will tell you, "Oh, this is a great supplement. I get it super cheap. I get it from wherever." But we're going to actually tell you what a good supplement is and how to know that it's a good supplement. But these are the 3 things that I want to cover this evening. So why do we need supplements? So the very base answer to that is that vitamins and minerals, they regulate the processes that happen all throughout your body. So I'll give you an example. There's something called the Krebs cycle. And the Krebs cycle is basically this pathway that happens in every single cell in your body. And what the purpose of the Krebs cycle is to create energy to promote growth or to promote normal activity within a cell. So within each, there are 40 some odd steps in this cycle that takes place. And in each step, there has to be a different vitamin or mineral or molecule that helps you in that process to actually flow through and be able to create energy, ATP, which is the end result. So without that, you cannot create the energy that you need. So another thing that supplements help do is help to clear out byproducts. Constantly, your body is creating byproducts with every single day. Your cells are taking things that they don't need and saying, I've used this already, I need to get rid of it. And vitamins and minerals help flush out some of those or most of those byproducts. Also, a big reason why people supplement and why they should supplement is because we are way overstressed in our modern society. And unfortunately, a lot of people there are just a lot of people that are finding ways to get around that or trying to get around that by medicating. Now, I'm not someone who badmouths medication. I think there are some definite reasons why some people should be on medications, but I also feel that we over-medicate, unfortunately, and there are certain medications that can deplete you of vitamins and minerals, and so unfortunately, you get to a place where you don't have what you need, and so supplementing again can help reinforce that or get you back to a normal state. Let me give you a couple of examples of different vitamins that can help regulate processes. So I told you about one, which was the Krebs cycle, but I want to talk about specific vitamins. So, two of these are really, really crucial, especially right now. I know we're still in the midst of COVID. We really need to be getting enough vitamin D and vitamin A. Now, you can get vitamin D through being outside in the sun. That's an excellent source, and I recommend that. Please get as much vitamin D from going outside as you can. Vitamin D helps regulate cell formation. So it acts as a hormone, and it will turn on or off cells being able to divide and grow. So right now that's important because it actually will turn on or off a cell's willingness to divide and mutate into, or not mutate, but proliferate. So if you say you had a virus, vitamin D can help turn off cells that you don't want to grow and turn on cells that you do want to grow. It's also something that helps regulate cancerous growths and other mutations because it turns on or off the cell's ability to replicate or duplicate. So it's really, really important to get enough vitamin D for that reason. And a lot of people actually are lacking in vitamin D. Either they don't spend enough time in the sun, or they're just not eating foods that are rich in vitamin D, such as dark greens are a fantastic source of that. But without proper vitamin D levels, you cannot regulate you cannot have proper calcium absorption because it regulates how much calcium you absorb. So if you have a vitamin D deficiency, then your calcium is going to be limited to 10 to 15% of the amount of the amount of calcium that we eat. So it's really important that you actually get the full amount of vitamin D that you need daily, so that you can actually absorb the calcium that you need. And like I said before, so that it can regulate cell development, either allowing cells to proliferate or decreasing a cell's proliferation. Another one that's, again, very important that people are taking right now is vitamin A. So why is vitamin A important? Well, vitamin A helps stimulate white blood cell production. Again, white blood cells, if you're familiar with the body's ability to fight off illness, it needs white blood cells. That's one of its main lines of defense. It's a huge way that the body will help protect itself is through white blood cells. So again, especially now, you need to be getting the correct amount of vitamin A. Both vitamin D and vitamin A are crucial to you being able to stay healthy in whatever season, whether we're in the middle of a pandemic or if we're back to our normal lives. It's very, very important. Another thing that a lot of people don't know, they know that people are deficient in vitamin B2 and B3, but they don't understand what they do. And this is something that I alluded to earlier. When people say, I'm tired, a lot of times people say, oh, you should get a vitamin B shot, right? Well, the reason why a vitamin B shot works, it's a B2 and B3 shot, is because the vitamin B actually is a limiting step. It's like a building block in making the energy that we talked about that I alluded to earlier, the ATP energy. So anyway, that's a couple of vitamins that are really, really critical for us to be taking each day and getting the right amount of each day. Another thing that we talked about that I alluded to earlier is that vitamins and minerals help clear out byproducts. So something such as an omega oil is going to help clean up the residue that's left over after every activity that you have in the day. So I like to think of this as the trash man of the body, takes away all your unneeded waste. So omega oils are fantastic for helping to do that. Another thing that we deal with in our current society is having too much stress and also using medications. And this diminishes the amount of vitamins that you're able to keep in your system. So one that we will talk about is CoQ10. And when we have, so let me back up. CoQ10, cortisol, excuse me, when you're very stressed, your body, in response to stress, it believes that you need more energy. And so the body will release cortisol, which is a sugar-based hormone that goes and releases more sugar into your system. Well, another side feature or side effect that cortisol has is it decreases or blocks your CoQ10. And I talked about vitamin B earlier. CoQ10 is another thing that will is a limiting step in your ability to create energy, right? So if you look at this little diagram that I have down in the corner here, you can see the one that's called ubiquinone. It's a Q, letter Q. That's your CoQ10. Ubiquinone is another name for CoQ10. And you can see if ubiquinone is not in this this is the final step of creating energy, ATP, for your body. And if you do not have that CoQ10 right there, and that what second to last step, then you cannot create ATP. So again, if you're stressed, you're going to inhibit your CoQ10. That's why people will feel exhausted after they've been super stressed out, because their CoQ10 is diminished, and therefore they cannot create the energy that they need to carry out their normal activities. Again, I always recommend, look, it's not just one thing. I don't want people to just supplement. I also want them to figure out proper ways of dealing with their stress. If you are in a constant state of stress, you might want to supplement, and you just cannot get ahead because your body is in that constant pattern of just releasing cortisol, and you're going to decrease your CoQ10. Even if you're supplementing, you're going to decrease it. So you've got to look at reducing your stress, but also if you're find yourself even at a low I would say a high level or a medium level of stress, maybe upping your CoQ10 would help you with your energy as well as your B2 and B3 vitamins. So something that a lot of people will ask is, why can't we get all the vitamins and minerals we need out of the vegetables that we eat or the fruits that we eat, our diet? Now, truthfully, theoretically, you could. That should be possible. But there are a couple of caveats. Let's talk about vitamins. Vitamins, theoretically, you could get the amount that you need out. Unfortunately, a lot of our foods are processed. So, for instance, if you're eating spaghetti sauce, you're most likely not getting very many vitamins out of that spaghetti sauce because they've taken it out of the ground, they've then cooked it, they've then put preservatives in it, they've then bottled it and kept it in a can for a really long time. The longer that something stays in a can, the more processing that takes place, generally speaking, the less vitamins it's going to have available to be able to actually be used in the system, because vitamins they can be broken. They can be broken up just like other parts of the plant can in the processing. of that plant or that vegetable or fruit. And when that happens, you're not going to get the value out of that fruit or vegetable. And you're not going to be able to get the vitamins that you need out of that. So can you get it out of all your foods, the vitamins? Yeah. And I would suggest if you eat a lot more raw foods, you're probably going to be able to get a lot more of the vitamins that you need. Minerals, actually, they've shown through lots of different research that the amount of minerals that are in food now are severely diminished. And that has a lot to do with the farming culture within the world, not just within the United States, but throughout the world, of doing farming lands over and over and over again without letting the fields rest and let them rejuvenate and let waters come in that are going to bring different nutrients to the land. And as a result, you end up with less minerals. And so it's very unlikely that you're going to be able to get the amount of minerals that you need strictly from what you eat. Even if you were a vegan, or if you're eating everything raw, it's still not likely that you're going to get the minerals that you need just because of the farming culture that's taken place. So vitamins, yes, if you ate very, very nutrient vegetable and fruits dense diet, then likely, yes, you could get the vitamins you need. Minerals, probably not. And the other thing is, even if you did have a very fruit and vegetable dense diet, that's what my diet is. I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, but there are going to be days that I'm not eating every single vitamin that I need and in the proportions that I need. So that's why I supplement, is because I want to make sure that I'm optimizing my body to make sure that I don't miss out on vitamins and minerals that I need to take care of the normal processes of the day-to-day life, because then you get a backlog and you just cannot, sometimes it's hard to catch up. And so that's why I personally supplement, even though I eat a super healthy diet. So, okay, so there are people who will say, hey, there are people that come to my office that say, I'll make a suggestion on a supplement, and they'll say, oh, well, I'm going to get that at Walmart, or I'm going to get that at, wherever. And I just can't, I can actually guarantee them one thing, and that's, if it's not tested, then you can almost guarantee that everything that they say is in that supplement is not actually in that supplement. They've actually done some really interesting studies which have shown that they did a study. It was one that was easy for them to do, which was test how much vitamin C is actually in a vitamin C capsule. And they took different ones from different stores. They took ones from Walmart and Costco and Walgreens and several different places. And what they found was, even though it says this is how much vitamin C is in this tablet, the Walmart tablet had something like 5% of what it actually said it had. So it was ridiculous that it was negligible. It was basically you're eating nothing. You weren't getting any value out of your supplements. So I recommend that you need to have third-party testing, and we can talk a little bit about that. But let me preface it with this: that so the FDA does not have, they do not regulate supplements, and this is true of a lot of other countries too. That their governing body of drugs and food, they don't regulate supplements. So that's something that's extremely good and not so good. And the reason why it's really good is because you can actually you're not going to be stopped from making something that is really helpful to people. And pharmaceutical companies aren't going to be able to squeeze out supplement companies and make them stop making supplements because they're going to have a corner on the market. So let me give you an example. The FDA is not going to allow a pharmaceutical company to say, okay, we're going to make this vitamin A, and you're not allowed to make vitamin A anymore. They're not going to jump into that, which is a good thing, right? That's a very good thing. The bad thing that there's no regulation is that they don't actually check to see if there is the percentage in it that we would hope is in it. And that's what we already kind of talked about a little bit before. So third-party testing, what it is a company, whoever makes the supplement, is going to go they're going to go have the supplement made, and then they're going to bring in another company, and the company is going to independently verify that yes, that percentage of whatever it is in that supplement. And the reason why that's important is because it's actually expensive to do. So if a company does third-party testing, you actually can be assured that it's actually in there, that the supplements are actually good and that you're actually getting what you paid for and want. So yeah, that's really the short and sweet, is make sure that you get something that's third-party tested. Now, doTERRA has a couple of different supplements. The main supplements, I should say, that they really focus on. That's the Alpha CRS, Microplex, and the Z Omega. And just to kind of make it easy and simple to understand in your mind, Alpha CRS is more for antioxidants and energy. Your vitamin mineral blend is going to be the Microplex VMZ. And then the Z Omega is going to be more of your anti-inflammatories. So yeah, it kind of breaks down so you understand what's what. Let me tell you another thing about how to make sure that you are getting a good vitamin. Let me tell you something that doTERRA does that's really cool, that a lot of supplement companies don't do. So LLV, they have, so A, D, E, and K are all fat soluble vitamins. So vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and K are all fat soluble vitamins. So you have to eat fat when you're actually taking these vitamins, or they're not going to digest in your system. So what that means is if you are, let's say you take a supplement and you don't eat it with let's say you just eat it with a fruit, right? Let's say you eat your breakfast and you have chopped up fruit and you take your vitamin. It's not going to digest into your system. Now, what doTERRA does, which is really kind of cool and unique, not many supplement companies do this, is they actually do this process which is called microemulsification, and they actually put the little tiny fat droplets around those vitamins, those fat soluble vitamins, which is pretty neat, because what it does is, because it's attached to those vitamins, it will automatically pass over the intestinal tract and go into your system, because it's already got fat attached to it. So even if you ate just fruit in the morning and you didn't have any fat with it, and then you took your LLV, your Microplex, then it's still going to digest in your system, which is really, really cool. Another cool thing that LLV does is they have taken all of their minerals that we talked about, people are so depleted in, and they did what's called chelation, which basically chelation, when a mineral is chelated, it means that they've taken the little parts of a protein and they've attached them. They're called amino acids, right? They've attached them to the mineral. So why this is important, your body is made up of proteins. Everything that you touch, right, is a protein. So your body is really cool, and that when it sees amino acids, it says, I want those amino acids because I can build proteins with it. So a cool thing that doTERRA has done is they've attached those amino acids to minerals, to the minerals that you're eating in microplex. And those minerals then will absorb over your intestinal tract again, because the body, as soon as it sees amino acids, it's like, I want that, and I want it now because I can build proteins with that. And it doesn't care what's attached to that mineral, or excuse me, that amino acid. It's going to pull that amino acid. Well, it pulls the mineral with it. So you get a higher rate of absorption when you have a chelated mineral, which is really cool. Another cool thing that they do with LLV, with the Z omega, is that they make sure that you're getting the best quality of omega oils. So for instance, there are different types of fish that you can get your omegas from. And what they do is they actually source it from calamari, and the highest DHA values, which is a type of omega oil, is in calamari. And so they source theirs from calamari. Again, it's more expensive, and it's a higher level of DHA, so you're getting more antioxidative power to be able to control your system and calm down your system. So again, really, really cool. So basically, what I'm saying is they've taken some really cool principles and made it so LLV can be absorbed easily and used to the highest capacity within your system. And then again, like I mentioned before, third-party testing. All of doTERRA's supplements are third-party tested, so you can have assurance that all of the supplements that you're taking actually have the percentages that they say are in that vitamin or in that mineral, so that you can make sure that your body is getting the fullest effect that it can. So I always have to tell people, again, I like I talked about before, without properly calming yourself down, decreasing your stress levels, it still is hard to get your CoQ10 higher, but you should still supplement with it because it's going to help to some extent. But make sure you get good rest, but also make sure you eat well. Don't have your diet be crappy. I love giving this analogy. Unfortunately, you know, a good chunk of the West is in fires, you know, having fires right now. And something that happens when a forest fire happens, let's just say there's a mayor of that town where that fire is happening. The mayor of that town is not going to be worrying about, you know, making better schools and creating parks and places for people to meet. He's going to be worrying only about how do we get this fire under control. If you're eating crappy food, if you're eating things that have been highly processed, if you're eating a diet that is, you know, dominated by just meats, that's not going to put your body in a state that can actually regenerate and use the supplements to the best of their ability. Instead, you're going to, like the mayor of a town that's on fire, you're going to be putting out the fires rather than focusing on how do we make better schools? How do I build better proteins in my body? How do I make sure that I regenerate energy? How do I make sure that my body is not creating arthritis and fighting diabetes and things like that? We need to make sure that we're having a healthy diet and then supplement, so that you make sure that you're getting all the things that you need in your daily diet. So that's all I got.
Oh, thank you so much. I'll give you a second. We are so glad for all your help here, and we really I feel like I've learned a lot. Yeah, thank you so much. We're going to close the Facebook Live, and then we'll ask anybody if they have any questions for you, and we'll keep going for Zoom for just another couple minutes. Thank you again. We appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody on Facebook.
Want you to know that
appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, sorry. So we have Life on Vitality. You can purchase Life on Vitality. You can try it for a month, actually for free. If you, for whatever reason, you don't like the product, then you can send it back to the company and they will give you all your money back. No questions, no problems. And there's some wonderful deals going on right now with BOGOs and other things that you can also enjoy. And we hope that you'll join us again and try some of those things. And you can find these on our website too. So thank you again, Dr. Joel. We really appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, have a good one. Thank you.
Oh, you were awesome. Thank you so much. We're going to turn off our live now and just continue recording for just a few more minutes. All right, so now we have a couple of minutes more that we'd like to just ask you a couple of questions. So I learned something tonight that I didn't realize, and that was the emulsification process. I didn't realize that. That is fascinating.
It's really, it's really unique. There are very few supplement companies that do that. So it's really quite a unique process. But
I always felt like,
I was just going to say, because your fat soluble vitamins without fat in your system will not absorb. And even with fat in your system, there's no guarantee that it's going to connect to those vitamins and then pull it across your digestive tract. But when it has it connected to it directly, it'll almost guarantee that it's going to get pulled over the digestive wall. So
wow.
Well, it sounds like there are a lot of people who, even maybe people who are trying to be conscientious about taking their vitamins and supplements, because they're not taking high quality products, are just, they're not getting any benefit except
nutrients.
Feeling good about taking
it. I've seen x-rays of patients who you can see when you take an x-ray, say of pelvis or lower spine, lumbar spine, you can see the supplements in them. And you ask them, hey, what supplements do you take? And you can actually see that it's not even digesting. And you can see it in their lower digestive tract, that it's still in that pill form. And it's not digesting. So it's not doing them any good. So yeah.
Wow, that's remarkable. I didn't realize that it was that graphic.
Yeah.
I appreciate. I learned a lot of really good things here tonight. I've heard you do this program before, but for me, there's always something else that I pick up that I didn't realize from the last time. And as you were telling it tonight, I was thinking about me, and I've been using supplements that were supposed to be the best and blah, blah, blah. And I actually had them on my shelf and was using them. And then I switched over to the doTERRA product, and immediately I felt the difference. And I think it's the things that you just said.
Yeah.
The chelation, and then the
emulsification and the chelation. Yep.
Yeah. I like, oh my goodness. And then of course the third-party testing is big. I didn't realize you could get away with that little of vitamin C in that.
Isn't that crazy? It's like, I think I remember it was like 5%. I was like, 5%? That's just crazy. So,
you have to take the whole bottle to get 500.
Yeah, you would. And the problem is a lot of those have sugars in them anyway. So, and so it's like, you're probably not getting any value, because then you spiked your sugar and, you're just getting an insulin response, and it's probably not helping you at all. Kind of crazy.
Thank you. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, let's open it up
the
to
people here
other
tonight that you
participants.
heard. Anything you'd like to ask?
Ask the doctor your tough questions.
We're going to turn off the recording right now, and thank you for the not for being here, but just we're going to keep talking. We're just going to turn off the recording part so people can ask questions they feel like they'd like to ask. Is this one? I can't
No.
just pause.
Oh, you want
This one right
stop
here?
it?
Yeah, we're going to stop it.
Mhm.
Anyway, we're excited that you have the opportunity to learn these things. So keep it up, guys.